Hey y'all, it's your girl Cass. Welcome to my page, my channel, a podcast, Castlelight. It's been a couple of moments. I just got back into town earlier this rising around like 1 a.m. So I'm a bit tired, to be honest. But I just want to come on because I know it's been a couple of moments, like I said, and I just wanted to touch on something that me and my sister was talking about while we was on the trip, like on the way, like literally on the last day going back home. Let me just say this. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you can't still have fun and know how to live in harmony and in balance. Because I definitely had a good time with my sisters and her friend. The club singing is still not my thing anymore, especially in Texas. Personally, just because Houston, to be specific, but I don't know if it matters. Just being like Caribbean and from like Massachusetts, like the Boston area, it's super cultured. And what I mean by that is like they play different types of music. So you're gonna get reggae, Afrobeat, like bachata, pasada, all these different like culture music aside from like just American like rap, R&B. So that was like the only downfall of the trip that I didn't really appreciate or care for, I would say. And like the flow would go from literally rap to R&B, like no smooth transition, no nothing. So I don't know who needs to go DJ down there, but I think like my assessment is that well, I don't use the term black, but just for this conversation, right? Or like Melanie, I'm gonna say black because that's what, but I don't like to use that word. But in this case, down south is primarily like African American. That's not even a real thing either. So, but y'all get what I'm saying. Whereas like, I don't think, the different cultures like know like what Cape Verdeans or like maybe Haitians because it was just on the border like not too long ago. But I don't think they know about like different culture music like that because they're used to hearing like just regular like American music. And so me being Haitian and Caribbean, that was just like, I don't go to the club, but if I was to go to the club, it was to bust a wine, you know what I'm saying? Or like, yeah, like do something. Like I didn't feel nothing. My knees wasn't hurting. My lower back wasn't hurting. That's when you know any Caribbean, unless like you've been doing it nonstop, where it's just like this is just routine for you. But anybody know, every girl knows like you was putting in work and you was dancing like full blown workout when you feel it like the next day. And that was like never an issue for me. So that's how I know. Like I didn't really fully enjoy the music that was there. Like that was the only thing. But anyways, back to the topic on hand. I just wanted to tell y'all. Anyways, I went there to serve looks, okay? And that's exactly what I did. But back to serious matters. So for me, if I go back to Texas, it would not be for the night scene or for the dance, because there was basically nothing. So when I was on the way back, me and my sister was having a conversation, and I think it's very interesting how like one track minded like some people would be or what they equate to. It's just like when I did that video about like, what do you think being a man is, or like a divine masculine? Like, what do you think being feminine, a divine feminine is? I think like some people think it's just like, oh, I just gotta be a woman. No. Like, or you think you just gotta be a woman who reaches a certain age, who has like certain accolades that makes you divine feminine. No. And you think you're a divine masculine just because you got, a body part and you reach a certain age, or just because you can hold down a job or something, that doesn't make you a divine masculine. It's like, are you intelligent, like emotionally, mentally? Where are you at spiritually? You know what I mean? Maturity in these areas too, because like these things take healing. It's just like when we just hear certain things and we just think, oh, that's just what it is, and that was like fixing that box. But honestly, it's so much bigger and deeper than that. So as a man, providing a protecting could be just like, okay, I pay the bills and I got a gun, and you think that's providing and protecting. No. Like, how are you providing me security? Like, security is not just physically. I think we get so caught up in the physicality because that's what society just embodies, right? Is what you can get, how much money you have, just material things. And it's just like, no, can you provide me emotional security? Do you know how to be there for me when I'm going through, like, my hormones are raging, they're going up and down, like, and I just like want to express myself? Do you know how to be there for me? Do you know how to show up for me? Can you protect me emotionally in that way? Right? It's not just protect me physically, but can you protect me emotionally? Physically is just a part of it. We are multiples, okay? So that means spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, just all of these things. So we can't just have these one track mind and think that that is enough. And it's just like, for women, it's not, oh, just because you can birth babies, that makes you divine feminine. Do you know how to nurture, right? Do you know how to comfort? Do you know how to support? Do you know how to manage a household? Because your emotions is gonna either make or break the foundation of that house and relationships. Like, a lot of like rich people think like they're not happy because their wife is not happy. And when she's unhappy, she can make everybody else miserable in that household. Trust and believe me, being raised by like a single mother, trust and believe me, me and my sisters, we be like, yo, sometimes we be just like, yo, she just makes the whole house feel like heavy, depending on what her mood is or how she's feeling. And it's just like, yo, like, what is your problem? And so it affects everybody, like subconsciously or consciously, like within the household, because the energy, like, she's the head of household. So even though I have my own energy, she affects my energy when I'm around that house. And it's just like, your house is supposed to be your peace. Your house is supposed to be your joy, your love, your comfort. And when that is lacking, it's gonna then affect how you operate outside in the real world. So basically, we're talking about relationships and how, like, people, and I've done this before, I've talked about this before, where we want to fall in love with a potential person, which is not intelligent, because they may never get to that potential that you want them to be. So do you love and accept everything that they bring to the table to you right now? I think we have become so complacent and just comfortable with settling and thinking that, oh, something might come out of it. And then when you're in there longer, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, and you see no change or no improvement, and if there is improvement, they're like not to where you want it, I feel like that's setting yourself up for failure. And then that's how women get even more stuck, because at this point, you had invested how much time into the relationship that you don't want to start over again. Listen, it is never too late to start over. So that's your downfall and anybody else's downfall who's staying in a relationship that you know is not fulfilling you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, all these aspects, because you're running on hope. Like, it's not the same. Like, don't confuse hope and having faith, because faith is within yourself, within universe, within God. It's a real personal thing. Hope is you expecting somebody to do something or like control it. You cannot. Like, you have to accept what you see, and like by like brushing it off, it's not gonna make you or your situation better. And then it's like we was having a conversation about like, how do you feel when your friend or family member is in a relationship with somebody that you don't like? And this is what I say to people too. Be very careful about what you share about your relationship to other people, especially people that love you and care about you, right? So, for example, I was in a toxic relationship. Do you think my ex went talk? Well, I talked to some friends about it, but do you think I was gonna go to my family members and tell them as if they already didn't even like the situation? Because this person had already showed them certain qualities and characteristics that don't align with what they would want from me. And anybody who truly loves you is going to want the best for you, no matter how you feel about it. Because you may be blind and want to brush away the red flags, but they will never forget. And it's not to say that there won't be good times and bad times. There will. Whatever. But if what they hear is more negative than positive, which you can brush off just because you have your rose-colored glasses on and you love this person so much, your family and friends don't have that same relationship with that person. They're not laying with them. They're not chilling with them. They don't have this quality time with them that you're so-called trying to relive to make this relationship be what you think or want it to be and whatnot it actually is. So when you're sharing these information with people that you love and care about, and then they don't see y'all progressing or that other person progressing or making any real changes, how can you think that they will accept that? And I think it's unfair for you to want them to accept that. Like, at the end of the day, and I was literally having this conversation with like a customer today. Like, just because I love you doesn't mean I'm gonna be okay or accept everything that you do. My love is not conditional where, oh, I'm just gonna cut you off or not care. Just because you doing something that I don't like. At the end of the day, we all have free will. We all can do what we want to do. Unless like that's imposing on me, for example, it's 333. If whatever you're doing is affecting me personally, I will cut you off. Because you're just not gonna make my life miserable. Because I've been in situations where all that other person does, like, I don't care what they're doing. They can do what they want, right? And I love them. But when every time you call me, it's about some negative, something, and you're still in that same situation and done nothing to change it, that's when I'm going to cut you off. Because don't act like you don't know how I feel about the situation and you keep bringing this to me. Like I already told you, I don't like it. I don't want to hear about it. And if you can't respect that, then how I'm supposed to respect you to keep doing what you're doing and think you can impose on me or dump on me what you're going through? Like, I don't think that's fair at the end of the day. And that's what I mean. Be careful about trauma bonding too, because you can meet somebody and y'all just going through, and then y'all just, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened. Y'all dumping on each other. Y'all are mutually aligned at that point in time, but let homegirl or homeboy make a decision like, nah, I'm living in love. I'm not doing that no more. Bro, they're not going to be able to sympathize with you the same way when y'all was both in that. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's very unfair for you to try to force people to accept things or people that they don't care for, that they don't like, that is not in alignment with them. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think it's fair. It's just like when it comes to this whole, I don't care, this is a touchy subject, but this is our reality at the end of the day. I don't care what you do with your life, right? Like, do I care? In some capacity, yes, but do I also, like, I'm neutral and don't care? Because at the end of the day, like, you can do what you want. I'm not okay with the children, though. Leave the children alone. Stop it. You're doing too much. I don't care what you guys got to say about that. But when it comes to you being an adult, if you, for me, again, I like data. So if you made sure that your hormone levels are in check, you're not basing this off of traumatic, like, childhood experiences, programming from your TVs, like, there's so many components. That's why it's just like, at the end of the day, if that's your choice and that's what you feel, do what you want to do, right? But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything that you do just because that's what you want to do. That's like me thinking like everybody's going to agree with what I do, what I say. That's not realistic. Does that mean that I can't care for you? Does that mean I can't support you? Or I can't love you in other ways? No, it doesn't. Y'all want this to equate to this, and it's not always like that. Like, stop trying to put people into whatever box you want it, because then you want like a yes person in your life. Like, no, that's not really how life works. That's like when it comes to your children, you being a parent. Do you think your children's gonna do everything that you want them to do? Or are they just going to go do life and gain their experience, and hopefully the lessons that you gave to them, the skills, can help them bounce back from whatever situation that they can grow from, whether it's negative or positive. Everything is a learning situation, learning experience that they can grow from. So you give them a good foundation for them to work off of both of those and know how to move accordingly. But if you think that you're going to be able to just, if you do happen to have that, that's a miracle. Like, good for you. But 9 out of 10, your child is going to do something that you didn't agree with or don't want to accept. But does that mean that you're going to stop loving them or supporting them or showing them for them just because of that? No. It's not a determining factor for you to love somebody. That's what unconditional love is. You think, for example, a source, God, right, made all of us divine reflection that do both negative and positive things in life. Do you think God is going to choose to love or only the good people and then just F the like negative people who's doing whatever? That's not how it works. So until y'all wrap that around your minds, then you'll be more open to your heart and use your own discernment in order to how you move things. Like, I don't need you to agree. You think I agree with everything my family does? No. But does that mean I stop loving them? No. Unconditional love. Y'all really need to get to know that. But the point of this conversation was get real with yourself. Stop trying to force people to accept things that they don't want to accept, or like just force them to do anything that they don't want to do, and be okay with that, because the same way they're still okay with your, they still communicate with you and okay, just because you're dealing with your situation, they're still there for you. You're gonna have to be okay with them. Well, that's their decision, and like, I'm okay with that too. It has to be a reciprocal relationship. You can't force something, especially if it's not something that they agree with. Like, that's for friends, family, anybody who's truly close to you or love you. You can't force them to do none of that. But also be honest with yourself. Like, are you settling? Are you being real with yourself? Are you making excuses, or are you comfortable? Are you scared to leave and start new, start something fresh? Because it's scary out there. Like, what are you scared of? Like, we stay lying to ourselves. Like, we see what's right in front of us, but we want to create these illusions and distortions to create things that actually don't even exist. Especially not in somebody else when they're showing you who they are, what they are. And it's wrong for you to even want to change them. And that's wrong for you to stay in an unhappy situation where you know it's not allowing you to grow or to flourish. If you are the only person who has, you can see there's like a line, or you see the growth, up, down, but you're keep growing and they're just like not in alignment, bro. You're not in alignment. So, and what do you think? A lot of people think being an adult is just like paying bills and being able to maintain the job. Newsflash. You can be unintelligent and maintain a job. You can be an asshole and maintain a job. You can lack emotions, emotional intelligence, maturity, empathy, intelligence, what else? All these other factors that like help you to be the best human or just being that you could be. It's like y'all set the standard so freaking low as to, oh, I'm an adult. No, like, do you know how to, work with people that you don't necessarily agree with, or have a conversation where you can agree to disagree? Can you, what else? Like, be in support of other people that is supportive of you? Are you self-aware where you know where things that you need to work on or pay attention to, where you can grow in your life, things that are not beneficial to you? Because if you can't tell the difference between a thriving and good relationship compared to one that you're settling and belittling yourself and it's operating off of lack, you're not as much of an adult as you think you are. Again, we're accepting like the bare minimum for these things, and it's just like it requires so much more. It requires awareness, it requires consciousness, it requires empathy. Okay, these things are not tangible or materialistic of things that you can do. It's very spiritual, it's very emotional, it's very mental. It requires work to be able to be this adult that you were claiming that we are or want to be. Just because you did what society told you to do, go to school and get a job, that doesn't make you an adult. There's children out here who are more intelligent in all these areas than these people who, basically because you have like commas in your bank account. Bro, you can't put a price tag on what they're able to achieve, like within themselves, within the community, within their families, as an individual and an adult, compared to, oh well I can pay for things. Like, be for real. Okay? But I know this was kind of long, but if nobody told you today, Divine Reflection, let me be the first one to tell you that I love you. I hope you have a blissful, abundant, beautiful rest of your day. And if nobody told you today, let me be the first one to tell you that I love you. And I will see you guys next time.